Hey guys, Inferno here, jumping into a game called Dull Grey. This game is on the Xbox at the moment, for me anyway. And Dull Grey is an award-winning visual novel about growing up. It tells about mother and son, free will, and the search for happiness among foggy mountains and grey pipes. It's developed by Provodnik Games, published by Sometimes You. So this releases tonight, the 5th of May, 2021. And it's basically a visual, as I said, visual novel where it's a bit narrative based. You make some choices about who you are, or who the son should become, a lamplighter or a tallyman. The drama of everyday life shown against the background of a retro-futuristic world controlled by the Progress program, an unusual mechanic of a single choice leading to different game endings. Inspired by the worlds of the Strugatsky brothers, Dostoevsky's works, and Tarkovsky's movies. Also on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. Well, let's have a look. So not sure. I played this a little bit earlier. I'm not sure if it's going to continue right from where I was, or if I can start a new game. Yeah, new game. Let's do a new game. She sits, then stares into space. Ash-coloured hair arranged in a bun, eyes are watering. Give your granny a hug, says Mother. He comes, bends over to the armchair and cuddles the wizened, declining body. The old lady struggles to open her arms in response. And who is it? Who's this? She mumbles. This is your lovely grandson, Kyusha. Remember how you looked after him? How you taught him the alphabet? Letter G. Geyser. Shoo. Mother gestures, showing splashes of water. Kyusha, the old lady pronounces the name as meaningless sequence of sounds. G. Geyser. Shoo. Repeats Mother, and then adds with a bit of chuckle. And the person is gone. He wants to withdraw, and Mother puts her hand on his shoulder. Stay with your granny for longer. It won't hurt. We have been living together for a year, and you could have called on her yourself just once, just for a friendly chat, without bringing you here. He stops. The old lady is wearing a green dressing gown with flower patterns. It has recently been washed and smells of cheap washing powder. Kerr can hear her heart beating. Oh, it's warm. Their home, two poky tin bunkhouses pressed against each other. Their doors open to a common porch. His father built it using parts of broken robots and was very proud of his work. Now it is used as a clothes dryer, and Granny's rocking chair stands under its rusty overhang. It's all surrounded by steam. Steam, hot springs, mountains, pale sky, and silence. Today is an important day, says Mother. We are going to choose a profession for Kerr. What? A beetle is crawling up the bunkhouse wall. It stops and slowly and thoroughly cleans its wings. It's springtime, even though snow is still lying everywhere. A profession for Kyusha. They've got these rules nowadays. Progress program gives us options and we have to choose. Mother noisily sighs and strokes her son's back. Oh, my troublemaker, what will you be? So we could be a lamplighter or a tallyman. I'm going to go lamplighter. A lamplighter, why not? It's a good and useful trade, runs in the family, she said. Lamplighter, she says a little quieter and nods. They go one after the other along a narrow metal bridge holding the rails. The bridge is shaking under their feet. Its metal sound is drowning in the squelching of mud currents. The air is heavy and humid. Mother leads the way, but constantly turns around, gestures, exclaims. The son walks on, morose, silent, and lost in thought. They walk for a long time. A great flame, Mother suddenly stops. What is this? Dark giant with square, netted eyes is leaning over the road. Its metal spider legs are sinking in mud. Scared me to death, you stupid piece of metal, exclaims Mother. What is it doing here? Did anything explode again? This is a GOS maintenance robot. Tube fragments on its back look like arrows in a giant quiver. Strangely enough, it is not doing anything, just turning its head. As if it is waiting for something. They cautiously approach, pass between its legs, constantly looking around. Mother is holding her son's hand. As soon as they get behind the robot's back, the giant thing turns with clanking and screeching. Somewhere high above, a sandpiper flies up with an alarming cry. Oh, what is it doing? Asked Mother. The son shrugs his shoulders. Alright, let's move on, says Mother, for some reason in a whisper. The robot follows them. It pulls out its legs from the sticky mud with loud squelching sound. Moves in several steps, dashes. Often stops to turn its head around as if sniffing. Mother is nervous, biting her lips. Hands are cold. Why would anyone get nervous? It's just a robot. Lost its way, usual business. The chain of signals got broken and the only thing to do is to go to the nearest road and wait to be taken away. Taking Kerr to school, his father helped such machines get back on their way a few times. Half an hour later, the robot's loudspeaker suddenly activates and it says in an even, mechanical voice, "What profession have you chosen?" In response, Mother quickens her pace. Her son struggles to keep up with her. The robot follows them and after another dash repeats, "What profession have you chosen?" I'm going to stay with lamplighter. A lamplighter, Mother finally gabbles over her shoulder. It's very good, says the robot. Lamplighter are in demand. They help us make signals. Without signals, we will get lost in this dump. Mother blushes, replies, "Shut it, you dump dweller." The robot bursts into resemblance of laughter. His voice is still unemotional and mechanical. His father was a good lamplighter. We remember him. The station is right ahead at the bottom of the crater. Black, massive and drowning in steam. Lines of rods protruding from its flat roof that looks like a gigantic hairbrush. Some of its teeth are occupied by spike heads. They slowly turn and blink while charging. Some orange light goes blinking in the fog too, as if responding to the spike heads. Dull, constant humming is audible. Mother waves her hand and shouts, "Hey, hello, hey, do they see us? I sent them a message on the net. They should be waiting for us." And immediately clasps her hands. The net. Was there any connection today? The son snorts, points at the spikeheads. If the servers are there, the net should be available. "Phew, but of course," she laughs. "They have so many of them there. Previously, you would be happy even if one strayed into this place. I remember that just after you were born we had to find something out. About some medicine perhaps? But unfortunately there was no Sparky around. You wouldn't stop crying. It was horrible." He suddenly stops laughing and asks anxiously, "Do you think they will accept this one?" He nods at the robot behind them. "Or will it trail behind us till thermal?" The son shrugs. It depends on whose shift it is today. They accepted this one and had a good laugh about how the robot characterized professions. Of course, these were the controllers. Their communication department is full of kids. They used the timetable to figure out who could stumble into their robot and decided to play a joke on you. But you know, it spoke in such a way. Oh, don't take it too seriously. It's Aunt Tamara. She is wearing a uniform jacket, an embroidered scarf around her neck and earrings. She is sitting at a big window with Mother and drinking tea, putting cups on the corner of the table between piles of paperwork. Aunt Tamara's daughter is typing a little farther away in an armchair, holding a portable computer on her lap. Her name is Yana. She is keeping her back straight and her expression stern. Son can't take his eyes off her. She notices it and shrugs her thin shoulders in discontent. Of course, she is a grown-up, 2 years older than him, and already has a proper job. Behind the armchair there are handrails and a long staircase going down into the darkness of a maintenance workshop. The robot accepted for preventative maintenance stares from the dark. They have already dismantled its legs. "So where are you going now?" asks Aunt Tamara. "The thermal, to meet the navigator." "Oh, the navigator, such a handsome man, and he travels in a train that I've never seen before. I even envy you." "Come on, there is nothing to envy. We are bags of nerves." Aunt Tamara nods understandingly. "Well, jokes apart, what profession have you chosen?" she asks. "Seems like you can change your mind halfway through. I'm going to stick with lamplighter." "Lamplighter," replies Mother and sighs. "That's the choice. Well done," says Aunt Tamara and takes Mother's hand. They spend some time in silence. "You know, after what happened, I thought, well, you know what I'm talking about. It goes without saying. Well done. Excellent." Mother nods. "You know what, Kapka? What I also wanted to say is, we do need lamplighters because we have signal failures everywhere. We badly need them, but if your son goes away, then..." "Oh, why am I skating around it like a well-greased robot?" "No!" Tamara suddenly explodes. "If your son goes away, who will be left? Who else would make a decent husband? I'm drunken for a thermal? And we are done deal. We are all settled here." Points at her daughter. Yana blushes and starts pushing the buttons with double force. Son attempts to stand up, leans forward but hesitates and stops in this strange position. "Am I wrong?" continues Aunt Tamara. "Or do you intend to become an old maid, my dear?" "Mother!" her daughter exclaims in a fit of anger, then rises and loudly declares, "I'm going to the kitchen." She subtly motions to Kerr to follow her. "Go ahead," waves Aunt Tamara. The kitchen is poky and dark place. The only source of light is round holes in the ceiling. The door of the fridge is covered with souvenir magnets. A headless robot frame sits in the corner. "Don't listen to my mum," smiles Yana. "It's so like her, imagining things." Her nods. "And why did you stop going to school?" Yana asks. Your mum was something like, "Well, you see, is it because of what happened to your father? It must be really tough. Why wouldn't you move to thermal? At least you'll have people around." Kerr repeats his usual, "Well, you see," and points somewhere behind his back. "Your mum doesn't want to?" Kerr nods. "You are so untalkative. Are you afraid of me?" He intensely shakes his head. Yana takes out a mirror, turns to the light and spends some time contemplating her own reflection. Then she unbinds her hair with a single motion and asks, "Tell me, am I beautiful?" Kerr looks at her astonished and thrilled. "Oh," she checks herself. "Stop, hold on, you got it all wrong. You are still just a kid. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. I meant quite a different thing." Kerr's thoughts are in turmoil. He doesn't know what to do and what to feel. The whole situation sends shivers up his spine. The sound of Mother's loud voice comes from the workshop. "See, he wants nothing. Absolutely nothing. What do I do? What?" Yana continues. "Don't say anything, no need, but let me tell you one thing." Her eyes flash with strong emotions. "You know what? Get away from here if you have a chance. You need to go away." Kerr nods slowly and hesitantly. "Tell me the truth. What do you want to be?" "A lamplighter or a tallow? I'm going to stick with lamplighter." "The lamplighter," says Mother, entering the kitchen. "Get ready, Kirill. It's time to go." Gondola. Two-seated metal cage, slowly moving above a milk-white sea of steam. It creaks and rocks. The outlines of the mountain are barely visible. The settlement of thermal is on the opposite slope. They've almost arrived. Mother looks very sad, head down, her chin resting on clasped hands. Suddenly, moaning Gaza falls down only to shoot up again, roaring and gaining strength, rising higher and higher. Gondola stops, tripped a sensor. Now it will turn into an ordeal. The net connection has been lost too. Son pushes a refresh button on the tablet several times. Sighs. Mother starts crying. Murky tears mixed with mascara run down her cheeks. Right here. It happened right here, she whispers. Shoo. She is wrong. It didn't happen here. It happened a few miles to the north. His father was making a new signal path for robots. Routine work done hundreds of times. But that day he slipped on a patch of dirt and fell into boiling water. Boiled alive. The great flame, the great all-forgiving flame, Mother keeps whispering. How could you let it happen? How? How is it even possible in the best of the worlds, in the just world? They buried him a year ago. Granny, still in her senses, lit the traditional funeral fire herself. Brushed everyone away with a single swing of her hand. This was the last dominant gesture in her life. Her eyes faded together with the last flame. Starting from that moment, the three of them lived in their metal bunkhouses away from the settlement, from other people, away from life. Mother was afraid of geysers and wouldn't let them go to school. He had to take on an online distance learning course. Robots would deliver their food. It was boring. Sometimes Uncle Corny would call on them, talk for a long time in his even voice, about profession, about choice, and about something else that was important. He would say, "Now listen carefully." Kerr failed to do that every time. "What will become of you, my son?" says Mother through tears. "My case is clear. I'm a done deal, but you, it's breaking my heart." Kerr carefully touches her still clasped hands. He looks up and asks, "What will you be, sonny?" "Lamplighter and tallyman." This is where you start putting a little bit down to the mind. Stick with the lamplighter. "Lamplighter," she said without waiting for his reply. "And you will go away into that cursed fog every day, and you will perish there one day just like your father." School, tall regular building on the slope of a mountain. Long, narrow windows form steps on its facade. He stands with Uncle Corny on a rusty balcony. Mother is inside, collecting his school supplies. What can one collect there for so long? School shoes? His broken tablet? Strange. You've got to remember that progress program is the greatest blessing and the greatest evil of modern times. He's always very polite, neat, and absolutely unemotional, like a robot, even worse. Listening to him is a torture. In fact, he is no uncle to Kerr, and not a teacher. He is a local technical administrator. He provides access to the net for all visitors. The school is not really a school, rather a club. Sending children there is already no more than a custom. Parents do it to make them socialise and get them out of the house. Today, Progress Program has almost unlimited control over people's life and its excellence, to his Uncle Corny. We see what wonderful fruits it yields all over the world. It makes a gesture that sweeps across the horizon. Somewhere in the distance, hundreds of miles away, there stands the city of Algova, model city, dreams, fruits. They cannot see it from here. What they can see are ramshackle 5-story houses settled on thermal. Of sandpipers flies from one house to another, manoeuvring between cables. Fortunately, each program has errors, says Uncle, and in Progress Program's case, these errors are disastrous. Here he suddenly chuckles in a strained way. Kerr gives him a bewildered look. "Excuse me," says Uncle, turning away and hastily whispering, "God bless and save us." What Kerr's father really hated was the believers in the flame, called them stick ends. His father liked very few people. Granny, yes. Mother, perhaps. Her. This is why Progress Program needs independent supervisors, tallymen, and his uncle. Of course, this is a great responsibility. You'll have to learn a lot, visit a lot of places and gain understanding of the mechanisms that control our life. It is a very intricate mechanism, he adds, with another chuckle, embarrassing himself. Trust me. Trust me, it's not nothing for... It's not for nothing that they have chosen you. This means that the program detects certain personality traits in you, outstanding traits. This is a great honour not just for you, but also for us, for the whole firm. Getting rid of just one error, you can repair dozens, hundreds of lives. I would gladly. Here, Uncle Corny stops and closes his eyes. Inconspicuous and neatly dressed. The bald spot on his head is still visible through his combed black hair. A short, lonely man, that's what he is. Calms down, opens his eyes and asks, "Tell me the main thing. What decision have you made? What will you be?" "Stick with lamplighter." "The lamplighter," replies Mother, stepping out onto the balcony. Her voice sounds harsh, almost angry. "But Kappa," mumbles a warning. "Well, this is what we decided," she replies. "Son, give us some time. We need to have a word in private." Kerr nods obediently. He passes his pale uncle and disappears in the doorway. After he leaves, sirens start wailing in the settlement of Thermal. Now the school is empty. Sounds echo in desolate arched halls. Walls are decorated with dull mosaics showing episodes of space exploration. Pots with flowers double their number in mirrors. Kerr is happy that he managed to get away from adults. He wants to do the thing that he planned to do for a long time. He intends to get into mischief, use his hacking tool, the program that he created a year ago, but he had no run because of his father's death. Now it's time to do it. Who knows what is going to happen to him after he meets the navigator? Kerr finds his terminal. His favourite cup with a cheerful robot is still inside the drawer of the desk, unwashed and stained brown. There is a layer of dust on the keyboard. The screen lights up. The program launches. A faint smile appears on Kerr's face. It's time to have fun.